already we have seen the various heads of income. There are 5 heads of income: income from salaries, income from house property, profits and gains of business or profession, capital gain, and income from other sources. There are separate sections in the Income Tax Act for computing the taxable income under each head, which are as under salaries will be dealt under section 15 to 17, income from house property sections 22 to 27, profits and gains of business or profession section 28 to 44, capital gains section 45 to 55, and income from other sources section 55 to 59. The computation of income under the head salaries, that is the first head of income, provisions relating to this head are included in section 15 to 17. So before that you should know what is the definition of salary. So the definition of salary is nothing but any remuneration received by an employee in consideration of services rendered to his employer is called salary. Salary includes monetary value of those benefits and facilities provided by the employer which are taxable. There are some features of salary. So there should be an employer-employee relationship. Yes, so employment denotes holding of a post or office on a regular basis under an agreement of service, whether it is a full-time or a part-time, whether it is involving manual or mental work. So a payment can be taxed under the salaries only when there is relationship of employer and employee between the payer and the payee. The fact of such relationship is to be decided on the basis of circumstances of each case. So every servant in an employee, but an agent may or may not be an employee. Only income from employment is taxable under salaries, and income from an office not amounting to employment such as income of an non-employee director or an independent director will be taxable under profits and gains of business or profession or income from other sources. Same way, payment received by MPs and MLAs or examination remuneration of college teachers from their university will be taxed under income from other sources due to the absence of this employer-employee relationship between the payer and the payee. The other one is salaries and business, the source of income, whether remuneration paid to a person is chargeable as his business income or as salary is a question of fact. If a director works as an employee of the company, payment made to him by way of salary, perquisites, bonus, etc. will be chargeable under salaries. However, the value of any benefit or perquisites obtained from a company by a non-employee director or by a person holding substantial interest in the company or by a relative of such director or person will be chargeable under profits and gains of business or profession or income from other sources. So, if the partner's remuneration not chargeable under salaries, any salary, bonus, commission or remuneration received or receivable by a partner from a firm will only be chargeable under profits and gains of business or profession and not under salaries. The same way, salaries and the professional income. Every profession involves entering into successive engagements and contracts. Each such engagement or contract may also be treated as an employment. However, if the employment is merely incidental to the exercise of a profession, any gains therefrom will be chargeable under profits and gains of business or profession and not under salaries. On the other hand, if a professional person such as a lawyer, a chartered accountant or a doctor works under a contract of service, remuneration received by him will be chargeable under salaries even if he owes his employment to his profession. Same way, salary or pension received by UNO employees. Salary or pension received by UNO employees in India is fully exempted as per circular number 293 dated 10th February 1981. So these are some of the features of salaries. So the next will be the due date of salary. Government, the due date of salary of each person may be falling under the first of every month or the last date of the of that particular month. So government and semi-government employees salary becomes due on first of every month for these employees, government and semi-government, first of every month, the next month. So salary for a particular month is due on first of the next month. So thus in such a case, salary from the month of March of the preceding financial year up to the salary for the month of February of the current year is taken into account. Salary of March payable on April 1st becomes a part of taxable income of current year. Salary received from 1st April to next year 1st March becomes taxable in a financial year. Employees of banks and non-government bodies, salary for such employees, salary of a particular month is due on the last date of the same month. Thus, in such a case, salary from 1st April of the current financial year up to the salary of for the month of March of the current financial year is taken into account. Salary received on 30th April to the salary received on 31st March of next year become taxable in a financial year. Thank you.